Hi everyone. Welcome to our third pitch event for our B2 Gold Jumpstart program. We're really excited to have such a variety of people in the room today, from startups to businesses, corporate, sponsors. Really exciting to see everyone in the room, including investors. I'm going to tell you a little bit about the B2 Gold Jumpstart program. With our first ever private sector incubation funder, B2 Gold, we've been able to, in the last year, execute a program called the Jumpstart program. This program has 3 phases and started literally a year ago. In our first phase, we onboarded 6 talented young Namibian businesses that went through an entire selection process with over 176 applicants. So not a program for the faint-hearted, and really excited to have been able to onboard some excellent Namibian talent as some of the game changers in their sectors. The program has 3 phases, with phase 1 having an incubation program. The participants had to achieve very specific criteria to qualify to pitch for their first funding or investment of 10,000. And we had 6 of our participants pitch for that. And that 10,000 is up to 10K. It's not a pitch competition. We're not competing for the top 3 winners. Each participant in their own merit was able to argue or justify what they wanted to use their money for, how they wanted to deploy it, to have capital efficiency, meaning I'm going to take that dollar, I'm going to put it here, and it's going to grow my business in that way. And that was the first phase of the incubation program. From that point, they moved on to the second phase and went through some more learnings, also had to hit very specific criteria, and were then, they qualified, all 6 of them, to pitch for up to 50,000 Namibian dollars that could be deployed in their businesses. But this time, they had to showcase how they were able to deploy the first 10K, if they used it the places they said they would, and if they were able to gain more customers, generate more sales, grow their brand and their businesses. And after that, from the 6 participants, 3 participants will be pitching tonight for our third and final pitch event for this year's incubation program. And each participant is able to pitch for up to 100,000 Namibian dollars each. And tonight they'll be doing their pitches to explain to the judges how they've used the funds they received prior to this, and then of course to argue how they can use that 100K to deploy into their business and to grow and continue to scale. So we are super excited to have 3 of our pitchers pitching today. And I just want to mention that we had 10 spots open and we selected 6. So always excited to learn about new talent and startups that are a little bit beyond the super early stage. So every participant on the program had already generated sales. I think a lot of entrepreneurs have this idea of, I have an idea, I need an investor. To prove that your business works, you're coming with your sheets to show how you're able to sell, how fast you're able to sell, and a whole bunch of other criteria that is required. Because the outcome of this program is one of 2 things. The goal of the entire program is, first, to create sustainability within the business, and secondly, or to become investment ready. And this is going to be a topic we'll be discussing about a lot tonight for us to learn what that means in practical terms. And you'll get to see the journey of the entrepreneurs that are pitching tonight to show how they've experienced that journey as well. I'm not going to talk too much, but I do want to say a huge thank you to Ignatius and his team, Mark, Steve, every judge, every facilitator. It takes a village to build a business. It takes an entire ecosystem, and we didn't do this on our own. We plugged into some awesome Namibian talent, awesome Namibian partners, and together we were able to add value to the startups that were selected on the Jumpstart program. I also want to say a big thank you to every participant. I appreciate that you were patient with us, that you allowed us to remain agile, and that you navigated this journey together with us. And I'm super proud of each and every single participant on this program. You'll see some of them have some stands outside where they get to showcase some of their products and services, because 50% of the onboarded participants are pitching tonight, but the others are here as well for you to see what they're all about. I want to say a huge thank you to our team, Delia in specific, for being the program manager, program coordinator, general, badass, just leader, leading Dololo as a team to do one of our most exciting incubation programs. We've been learning a lot together, and of course, the rest of the team that's been supporting and just leveling up not only our business and our brand, but I'm super proud of you as ops to see how you've taken us to the next level, so thank you very much. That's it from my side. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. Max will be explaining the sort of events for the rest of the evening. I hope you enjoy it. I hope you learn a ton. Heads up, we're streaming live. Thank you very much.
Cool. Up next, I would like to call on Delia to come give a few words on the journey of the Jumpstart program. Can you please give her a round of applause?
Good evening, everyone. I'm Delia Mark-Tesenfitz. I work at Dololo, where we develop entrepreneurs. I've jumped into the deep end a few times in my life. Max. When I was the first in my family to go to university, when I moved to Namibia, when I had kids, when I started a business, What's on Namibia in 2014, sold after 5 years, Web Tickets Namibia in 2016. Starting this job at Dololo also felt a little bit like jumping in the deep end, but it wasn't like really voluntarily. I was also being pushed because it had been like over a year of COVID, not selling any tickets for events. So what do you do if life gives you lemons? You make a plan. So I really needed this job. I remember the job interview and how I was thinking, oh, this program is ambitious. Being investment ready or self-sustainable within less than a year. I was also thinking, would I be the right person to make this happen? But then I thought, well, if they hire me, they probably believe I can do it. So we started. Call for application. Max. Call for applications in September. Over 170 applications received. Interviewed 6, onboarded 2. This was obviously not the number we wanted. The picture shows us at our kickoff breakfast with our sponsor B2Gold. And 2 was not the number we had promised to our sponsor. But I remember the first meeting I had with Ignatius from B2Gold. We were at 99 FM promoting the program, calling, for applications. And he said, you know what, at B2Gold, we see gold where others see dust. And that was a lesson. So we used a more targeted approach to reach out to the introverts, to the quiet ones, to see through the dust. Another lesson learned, though, was all that glitters isn't gold. At Dololo, we look under the hood. Before they had invited me to a job interview, I had to complete a task to prove my skill and that I was serious. Before we onboard participants, eventually it was 6, we also looked what's under the hood. And whenever we lose focus, when we, get carried away by that heartwarming story, that great personality, that super awesome business idea, we remind ourselves to look at the facts. We have an internal code word for that even. It's called seal balls, but that story I won't explain here. The point is, everyone has an idea. But it's not about the idea, it's about making it happen. It's about bringing the idea to life. You know how they say, a goal without a plan is just a wish. You have an idea and need an investor, I have bad news for you. That's entrepreneurship, and that's not what investors usually support. We learned that at the investment readiness workshop with Nicole, who's also our judge today. What investors are looking for are other things, traction, team, performance. A great idea is only one ingredient. What you need is passion, skill, the right business model, and the timing must be right. All that must come together. If you look at the 6 businesses that we have onboarded, you will see that 5 of them have significant experience in their field. Dream big, start small, but most of all, start. All of the things that one must come together. The skill is that what we could help with. We had 8 training workshops, it's cut off, tackling different topics. Because being an entrepreneur means that you have to learn certain business skills. We also had 89 mentorship sessions where we tried to figure out, what does it mean for my business? How often have you been in a training, you're all excited, you come home, and then you're like, okay, what must I do now? So it was the mentorship sessions where we tried to figure out what is the right marketing strategy for you, what is the right costing for your business, where we tackled, obstacles and challenges. We also spent $45,000 on getting in external expertise, the external trainers that we hired, the books that we bought, the online courses that we sponsored. This is all the time that the participants didn't spend in their businesses, but on their businesses. Because being an entrepreneur doesn't mean you know how to run a business. Being an entrepreneur means that you love solving problems, that you're willing to take risks, that you are driven by a vision and purpose. Many are starting, but the point is they find themselves busy and broke after a while. And some of them even confuse being busy with being successful. To run a sustainable business, there are many skills needed. For our group, I think the financial part was the most difficult one. Chart of accounts, record keeping, P&L, balance sheet, projections, procrastination, resistance, avoidance. But we got there. The lesson, though, is the grass does not grow faster if you pull it. Some things just need time. Time to be fully understood, time to become a routine or a habit, time to implement and see the results. Rebecca from Busy Bees, for example, she's working part-time and has a little son. Hubert from UB Innovations, he works full-time even, often outside of Windhoek. Alec and Björn are doing consulting to fund their businesses. In a perfect world, they might have found a VC or an angel investor to fund their journey. In reality, many of our entrepreneurs start as a side hustle or they're doing other jobs. When entrepreneurs in Namibia run their business part-time, I think it's not a sign of lack of commitment. In a perfect world, the first steps of a business are also funded by family and friends or own savings. And that might work in other ecosystems. But what do you do if you don't have that rich uncle or you don't have own savings from previous jobs? I think we should applaud the ones and support the ones that do it anyway. Remember when life gives you lemons? One of my own personal mottos in life is start where you are, use what you have, do what you can. Besides the training and the mentorship that the program offered, we could also pay out over $300,000 already to help their businesses grow. Money that they spent on equipment and stock, SEO, IT development, marketing, photo shoots, website development, construction, and consulting work. All our 6 participants have made huge progress. And let me say that again, they have made huge progress. Supported by us and funded by B2Gold. Progress with personal growth, progress with their businesses. And also, I would like to mention that all of them have become employers, or at least hired freelancers. The money was important for them, but from the feedback we got, it was not just about that. Another important thing that this program offered is the people that believe in the participants. You know, when somebody believes in you, you are halfway there. Science calls this the Pygmalion effect, and it is a culture at Dololo. Like when Tim and Chantal hired me because I thought I could do this job. Or when we believe that Max will rock as a presenter. Remember when I said the program was ambitious? 3 of our participants have really made it today. This doesn't mean the other 3 have not made it. Rebecca, Hubert, Dardika, we still believe in you. We must really say it is 3 that have made it. Björn, Alec, and Janis are the ones that have qualified to be on stage again today, pitching for up to $1,000 each. 100, what did I say? 100,000. Sorry. Before I hand over to Max, though, let me finish with one story. It was in October last year. We had an investor roundtable at the DoBox with an investor from Europe. Around the table were different entrepreneurs, also our entrepreneurs, but also other ones that were at different stages with their businesses. Also at the table was Auri. She's from Finland and she's writing her PhD on entrepreneurship. After a while, Auri asked, if she could make a comment. And she said, all of you that are sitting here trying to find out how they can get funding for their business, have you ever supported a fellow entrepreneur, somebody that's still smaller than you? The grass will not grow faster if you pull it, but it will be greener where you water it. All of us can be the change that we want to see in the world. Hubert from our program has already told me that he would support fellow younger entrepreneurs. I've done it myself through micro-lending, and I've always gotten my money back, and I've seen the magic that $500 can do. So I would like to close by saying, and encouraging you, join us and B2Gold in our journey to support Namibian entrepreneurs. Start where you are, use what you have, do what you can, but most of all, start. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much, Delia, for that amazing speech. It really takes me back. This is on, right? Okay. It really takes me back to the beginning of the program when we just didn't know what was going on, what would happen, and here we are, 1 year later. Okay. Before we get into the pitching, because I can see our participants are eager to get up on stage, I would like to introduce our judges. Thank you so much, judges, for taking your time out of your busy schedules to come and do the things. Okay. First of all, I would like to welcome Josiah Hano-Oshike. So Josiah is an investment professional with a passion for social activism, entrepreneurship, and human development. He is also a keen angel investor and serves on boards of a number of startups. Josiah, can you just please stand up or wave your hand just so everyone can see you? Okay. Up next we have Nicole Maska. So Nicole is a seasoned leader and private equity professional who works with entrepreneurs that have scalable ideas and projects to build businesses that create jobs and have a positive environmental impact in Namibia. That is lovely. It's a wonderful intro. Welcome, Nicole. Maybe if you could just... Okay. Last, but definitely not least in the slightest, we have Ignatius Awasep. Was it close? Awasep. Okay, so Ignatius is the manager of corporate social investment at B2Gold. I would also like to mention that B2Gold is the official sponsor of the Jumpstart Incubation program. Okay, so the rules of judging are as follows. Our entrepreneurs get 5 minutes to pitch their businesses to the audience, and then they're allocated 8 minutes for Q&A sessions where the judges can pose questions to them. Okay, the judges asks one question at a time, so no embedded question. And then when you're done asking one question, and if you have a follow-up question, you're welcome to ask after all the other judges have posed their question, okay? I would also like to emphasize that the entrepreneurs pitching today have already qualified to receive up to 100K. So it's up to the judges to now decide, in accordance with their pitches, how each entrepreneur will, how much they will receive. Sorry, my bad. It's it doesn't get easier being on stage. Doesn't matter how many times you're on stage, but yeah. So this could be the asked amount that they ask for in their pitch, or any amount up to 100K. And then also you would need to justify the amount that you granted or that you wrote on the sheet as to why you granted that specific amount. There's a comment section below there, below the scoring sheet. Okay. Now that I'm talking about the scoring sheet, I would also like to point out that we are going to select the high jump of the night. And for those that haven't been to our previous pitches, what the high jump of the night is the entrepreneur who received the highest amount of scores. So it's not necessarily the one who received the highest amount of money, but it's the scores that the judges use to tally. Okay. Next, like before, this is the last thing I'm going to say before the judges start pitching. Before the pitchers start pitching, my bad. I think you guys are all wondering why we asked you to bring a $5 with you. So what that is basically, tonight we really want to emphasize the role that each and every one of us in this room can play to foster entrepreneurship. Anyone can support a growing business. We can all be investors. So everyone can be an angel. Okay, this is where we clap. So what your $5 coin is going to do, your $5 coin is going to act as a ballot, so to say. So we're each going to be voting for one of the entrepreneurs that pitched tonight. So what you're going to do during the break, there is going to be a section, like there are 3 canteens stationed outside the Opera House, where you can just place your $5 into any of the canteens for any of the entrepreneurs that pitched today. So this is your vote, and this is your chance to become an investor yourself. Okay. So this also doesn't necessarily have to be anything of monetary value, because you can also add a note saying how you would like to help, or even your business card. So if you do something that you think would help the entrepreneurs, you can also just stick it in the ballot box. Okay. So right now, I would like to call upon our first pitcher, and that is Janus. Janus Beekers.
Okay, good evening everyone, judges. My name is Janus Beekers and my company is Elysian Fitness. Today I want to start at the beginning because our slogan states, remember why you started. I'm going to show you a video of how we started and how it's currently going. This is also our first promo video, so let's make some noise. Come on, let's go. Get up the energy. Go. Next. So as you can see, yeah, we were busy. But here's the video. Amazing what lockdown can do. You walk outside and you decide, let's build a gym. And that's what happened. But we did not just build a gym. We built a fitness brand with an holistic approach. Okay. Next, slide 1. Yeah, slide 1. Yeah. Okay. So what's the problem? The problem is that 73% of people do not reach their fitness goal. We are at war with this number. And how do we do this? We have a facility that has qualified personal trainers, group training that allows our clients to keep each other accountable, and this follows with consultation. And I want to focus on this tonight, because with this, we pride ourselves with our consultation strategy. This is where we beat that 73%. There are 3 main components to reaching your fitness goal. 20% starts with working out, 80% is with nutrition, and 100% is with mindset. We are currently tracking our clients' workouts and nutrition, and thanks to our new partners, Self-Ed Psychology, Our clients have someone to talk to if outside factors are hindering them from actually reaching their health and fitness goal. Elysian apparel, this is our identity. And also to make everyone aware and spread the word of Elysian fitness. And how did we do this? We actually put out a sneak peek video on Instagram, and that video reached over 3,400 views and counting. Accounts reached actually. And worldwide attention with people actually asking, are you also shipping worldwide? Crazy, huh? Okay, so with this, we want to, in our future strategy, we actually want to build a community of fitness trainers and clients. So our ask tonight is 100K. Wow, everything, yeah. But it's not about the amount, but the value that we can contribute to the community and actually implementing these funds to actually building our fitness brand. We want to focus on facility infrastructure, equipment that's quality, and we've been listening to our clients that's currently also here. Yes, we want to build and implement a Elysian Eats. This will be a nutritional and smoothie bar at the gym. Yeah. Yes. We also want to focus on marketing equipment, which will be used for outside events for the public. Everyone here. So yeah, our team consists of 3 qualified personal trainers, 1 on-call doctor, that's here, 1 administrator, 1 maintenance officer, and I want to thank our partners also, which is Cat Active, Self-Ed Psychology, and our on-site photographer, playback visuals for capturing all of Elysian's moments. Elysian Fitness, I thank you.
Thank you so much, Giannis, for that. Can we please give him another round of applause? Okay, so now we have 8 minutes for our judges to ask questions. Who are we starting with?
Thank you very much for that. Actually, very great pitch. I actually like the video quite a lot. I have one concern I need to ask about the scalability of your business. Seems like you're investing all of the money into just one gym and such. So typically, maybe I'm coming from the startup world. You'd like to want to look into expanding your business and expanding it quite fast, I guess within reason. So how do you plan to expand your business, or do you just plan to keep this one gym, right now?
Okay, thank you, Josiah, for that question. So there's something my wife said, like, why are you growing so fast? We are not growing fast, but we're growing at a steady pace. With our new trainer, Chad, we sat down and we discussed how we're going to take this further, your question. We want to implement Elysian Sports. Elysian Sports will then, like I said in the pitch, we are busy partnering with an institution in South Africa that will actually allow everyone to actually do fitness courses in Namibia, as well as ETA might be closing down soon. Then we don't have an institution. We want to use then that trainers to actually to go out and actually recruit people from the sports sector and say, hey, you can be an Elysian trainer, and this is how we will build our community, by providing that qualification to them as well. So yeah, we are looking at Elysian Sports. We are doing workshops with our self-ed psychology to make awareness about fitness, because we really want to get that 72% down. And that's how we plan to scale for the future, with an indirect approach as well. Did I answer your question? Yeah.
Judges?
Thanks for that. So my question is just around the eat side of things, because that's now something completely different.
Yeah.
I mean, have you guys considered the various factors that you need to actually make that successful in itself, and possibly some of the other options around that?
Yeah. So with my clients currently, we do workouts, but they struggle with the nutritional side. They struggle because we're not there at home to actually say, hey, don't eat that, don't eat this. So we decided, okay, cool, we'll implement a nutritional bar. This will be at the gym, and we will have I have this idea, and not just an idea, we're going to implement it. This is Elysian jars. So basically, people will have access to a jar that contains your breakfast, a jar that contains your lunch, but healthy food, a jar that contains your dinner, yes, that people can actually just buy, and it's easy, accessible while they're there, and they go home and actually have it. It's very important that we step into that nutritional side, because we're also working to get a on-board nutritionist at the gym as well. I'm a qualified in nutrition, but only a certificate. We are working to get someone in that has a bachelor in nutrition to actually focus on that side as well. Okay.
Okay, firstly, I would like to congratulate you guys for making it so far. Well done. And then maybe among the same line, what has been the growth that you've experienced since you have started with this program? And I believe you're the visionary of this organization. So going forward, maybe what are the two most important things that keeps you awake at night?
Thank you, Ignatius, for that question. Well, the biggest thing I can take away from this program is I can take away everything. Without this program, I remember the MD, Mark, he said, I can see you, you won't stop. You won't stop. I can just see it in you. You won't stop. Well, thanks to this program, I'm not going to stop ever. And we keep on growing. The program equipped us to be ready, to your financials ready, to have everything in order. And I'm recommending this program to everyone, because we needed someone to believe in you. We need a B2 Gold. We need a dollar law. I was sad when this program ended. I was sitting there, I was like, yeah, but we need someone to believe in us. And friends and family, your first investors, they believed in us first. When I walked out of the house and just decided to build a gym, my mom was, oh, he's starting again with something. Well, this actually worked. It only became real when we started painting our walls. And yeah, she's very proud of us now. With the future, well, like I said, we have a lot of plans for the year, and I can just thank my team, a great team. For we have like weekly sessions now where we actually like sit and we talk and meetings and minutes. But yeah, I want to thank you, because we have a plan to transform this fitness industry. I mean, what fitness facility? I come from Virgin Active. I've been at Body 20. I've been at boot camps and helped around. I know the industry. But what industry has a psychologist on board? Because it all starts with mindset. Why do we quit? Mindset. We have that now. And we actually want our clients to actually feel like, hey, I'm ready. So we are constantly improving and helping. And it's all thanks to the team. Thank you. What keeps me up at night? I just got married. I'm having a baby. This program, company, everything. Yeah, it's been a hectic year. So yeah, I researched like in the other day how to actually recover from a burnout because I felt like, ooh, you know. When I read 11 weeks, or 1 year, or several years, I was like, I'm not having a burnout. I'm fine. I'm actually fine. I'm going to keep on pushing. So yeah, what keeps me up at night is that we need to actually, like you said, invest in our country, because our country in entrepreneurship, in startups, is actually the building block to build our economy up. It's so difficult to find investments. I remember Nicole's training. Woo, that one was a hectic one. It was a lot. I wanted more. Give me more information.
Okay. We had Nicole wanting to ask one more question.
Yeah.
I think one of the things was about accountability of what you spent your last money on.
Yeah. So.
I don't know if we're allowed to actually.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Yeah. So what will accountability?
What did you spend your last money on?
Oh, what I spent our last money on. So as you can see, the facility. So we actually built the whole first part of the reception. It looks professional now. We built an office area where we do the consultation with our clients. With this, we actually can accommodate group training now, which allows more clients to come in and change that into revenue. At our office, we also have our Legion apparel hanging there, so that's also another thing. So yeah.
Okay, thank you so much, Yanis.
Thank you.
Okay. Next, I would like to call upon Alec Peters to come present for us.
I'm Alec, the founder of Search Sustainability. We do biogas. Probably most of you have heard the saying, think global, act local. Well, we're doing our part to tackle the global climate crisis by delivering solutions made in Namibia for Africa that convert organic waste into renewable energy. I'm talking about biogas plants. If food waste were a country, it would be the third largest CO2 emitter after China and the US, meaning the waste from our farms, factories, and kitchens contribute to climate change. Now, biogas is a technology that can treat all of this organic waste and generate renewable energy, mitigating the effects on the climate. Biogas is an established technology in Europe with over 16,000 plants spread across the continent. However, in Southern Africa, there are no reputable suppliers of this technology yet. This is why we are here. Biogas uses a natural process of decomposition to treat organic waste and convert it into renewable energy and organic fertilizer. An average dairy farm in South Africa has 800 dairy cows, which generate 45 tons per day of manure, and the electricity bill is about 5 million rand or Namibian dollars for such a dairy farm. Now, if this manure were treated in a biogas plant, $3 million worth of electricity can be generated. So an investment into a biogas plant would not only benefit the climate, but also have a payback less than 5 years. So how many biogas plants can be built in Southern Africa? Well, there are more than 1,000 dairy farms in South Africa alone. So selling to a very small fraction of these dairies is already a considerable amount of revenue. Or installing one large project at a commercial chicken farm is also considerable revenue. Then there are other industries around meat, fruit, vegetable processing, the beverage industry, and various other industries that generate organic waste. Our approach to growth has been to do this organically. Ongoing consulting work has funded our journey, which started with building the core of a business, a strong backbone in engineering templates and tools. Since the lab facilities didn't exist in Namibia, we also needed to build this pilot reactor, which tells us how much biogas can be formed from a certain amount of organic waste. The next big aspect we will focus on is marketing. So we are well known within Namibia, but not yet beyond the borders. And all along our journey, we have been speaking to potential clients. mostly in Namibia and South Africa. And some of these projects are under review by investors, meaning they could become sales in the foreseeable future. So our approach to delivering biogas plants is to standardize the design and have modular plug-and-play systems. For example, in this picture, we can see a containerized biogas plant and some other equipment that is skidded and easy to transport. This is at the factory where it was built. This is the same equipment installed at the site, and you can see it was quite simple to just connect all the bits with flexible hosing. And this approach of modular equipment allows for cost reduction and also means assembly and export is very simple. I must say this is not our picture or pictures from our installations. I founded the company as I'm passionate about this technology and the impact it can have. And Victoria, our mechanical engineer, has been with us for 1 year now as an employee. She does her magic in CAD, doing all the engineering templates and tools. The prize money from this third round could be used to contribute in speeding up our finishing of the engineering tools and templates, as well as fund the next step, which is the marketing. The marketing will involve work on the website and graphic design, as well as developing a digital strategy for our business and our target market. And then finally, there's also some lab equipment which we are still needing, and this could be funded from this as well. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you so much, Alec. Now we give it to the judges.
Alec, congratulations also to you and your team for making it so far.
Thank you.
My question is just around the business viability and sustainability of it. I would just like to know at what point, from a financial point of view, is your business going to become sustainable and bankable?
Yeah. So right now, the consulting I do is already as search sustainability. So this is actually revenue coming into the company, and it's definitely building our reputation. But the consulting aspect of the business is not what I want it to be in the future. It should transition to selling the biogas plants away from consulting. And even with the sale of one project, so at a dairy farm or a chicken farm, something like that, would be enough to really generate revenue to sort of grow the team and then have enough to keep going for the next time until you sell the next project. So the cycle is quite long to generate revenue from sales, but then it comes in big chunks. So the margin on a typical project would be, say, 20-25%, so of the amounts mentioned there, and this is then the overhead expense for the next months or years to fund the business.
Given that this technology is kind of being used in other places in the world, why would we not import that technology and use it here? What have you guys considered that you've actually now looked to kind of build this yourselves?
Yeah. So I used to work for a company in Europe, and we did do proposals for projects in various African countries, and they never came to fruition. And I would say the biggest problem was that it was done sort of with a European way of doing, which means a high degree of automation, very high-end technology, which isn't necessarily robust but relies on very specialized service technicians, and this is not possible in our context. So our approach has been to sort of build simpler but very rugged technology, and it's actually sort of our philosophy to try to import as little as possible, just the key equipment, and to rather focus on local manufacture and really keep the value within the country as well. And the other aspect that why European suppliers wouldn't be successful is that they're actually not really interested in especially smaller plants in African countries, because they have other projects in their home countries that are more profitable and closer to home. So there's actually a complete niche that isn't being serviced.
Alex, thanks for the presentation. I just want you to take me through your business model, all right? Obviously, overall, I understand that you want to use, I guess, biogas to produce electricity, but how the revenue streams looking like from that, and what point are you going to be breaking even?
Yeah. So there are two models to the business. The one is where a client, so say a dairy farm, wants to invest into a biogas plant. So they're a dairy, they have waste, they have a demand for energy, so they want to buy the plant. So we as Surge would engineer, procure the plant, all the equipment, and construct the plant, sell this to the client as a turnkey facility. They would pay a once-off EPC sort of fee to have the plant built, and then they own it and operate it and are responsible to sort of generate the revenue, i.e. offset their existing energy, and that's where their saving comes from. So our revenue stream is basically providing the turnkey biogas plant and get paid for that. And the payment conditions are usually that it's actually always cash flow positive, meaning we get more money per milestone than we pay our suppliers. The other revenue model is where actually the biogas plant becomes a service to the industry. So any industry has some energy demand, processes some materials into some product, and there's a waste that comes off in the process. So this waste becomes, for example, peels from pineapples when canning pineapples. So this could be a resource into a biogas plant to generate renewable energy, so electricity or heat. And in this case, sort of this cloud shows that we own and operate this facility, and the host basically just supplies the waste in long-term agreements and agrees to take the energy back in long-term agreements as well. So in this case, the risk of the business is within our scope, but that obviously also means the returns or the potential returns are within the business. So here there would be monthly payments for the energy supplied, maybe monthly payments for the treatment of waste, because sometimes the disposal of waste is a cost to the company. So these are two different models, and at the moment we're focusing mostly on this because it's the more traditional approach. But in the future, if we have a sort of reputation and can sort of speak with investors who are able to fund this part, because the revenue is only after 6, 7, 8 years when you have paid back debt. Yeah.
But how cost competitive, let's say now, obviously the first one I understand, and it could take some time for the farmer, whoever buys it to be able to pay it off, but that's fine. But how cost competitive is the second option as compared to renewable energy? Let's say it's wind, solar, and so on.
Yeah, so we have done some of these models, presented them to clients, and our cost of electricity has always been market minus a few percent. So usually in these transactions, because we would be hosting our site at their site, for example, instead of paying lease to them, we would offer a slight discount on the electricity. So it's whatever they are paying for electricity minus a few percent, basically, as a negotiation.
Any more questions from the judges? Yes.
So I mean, you seem to be quite far down the line and having some really good conversations. What do you really need to just now make this business sustainable and successful, I suppose?
I guess the biggest problem, so to speak, is that I can't split myself into different people. So at the moment, we're really focusing on building this backbone of a company, which is really the engineering templates and tools, because only if you have this can you sort of deliver a professional service to the client. So we want to spend time doing this now, but then transition into marketing and sales, meaning time to do these activities. And then, of course, at some point you need to do the execution of the project, so the actual project management and procurement and inspection on site and deal with export and things like that. So it really is a balancing act now to sort of get our ducks in a row, but also not to do this for too long, because at some point, yes, we do need to generate revenue from the sale. So if there were, say, an external investor, it would definitely be to hire a team, probably project manager and a salesperson, so that these tasks can happen in parallel.
What's the number that you would need? I mean, have you thought about that?
Well, yes, so one approach, I honestly believe, also from my previous employment, that these projects, they take between 3 and 5 years is the sales cycle. So one approach is, okay, we've spoken to some of the projects which are, say, 1 or 2 years into these 3 years. So we would need to bridge, say, another 2 years. I would work it as a salary of that team for a period of, say, 2 or 3 years until the first capital sale occurs.
How much of your, and this is now current, how much of your capital budget goes into research, design, and development of
yeah, so R&D, if this counts as R&D, is definitely a considerable portion. So, I mean, as this is here, is literally worth more than a double cab bucky if you buy it. But so that is, I don't know, about 20-25% of the turnover up to now that we have generated through consulting. But in the long run, this obviously becomes a small portion. So yeah, I think that it's skewed at the moment. How much we spend on R&D, but it is definitely something that going forward, there's AD is an established technology, but there are also still niches that can be optimized, and we definitely want to keep on developing solutions and keep having an R&D department.
Okay, thank you so much, judges, for the questions, and can we have another round of applause for Alec? Okay. While the judges deliberate, though, I would like to keep Alec on stage, just to, because I'm curious about this contraption, hey? And I'm thinking everyone else in the crowd is also curious as to, like, how does it actually work? What is it, you know?
Yeah, sure, I can explain a few things. So basically, this is a fully functional small biogas plant, meaning organic waste comes in and biogas comes out. So what we have here is a feed tank. Someone would fill, for example, cow manure or pig slurry, whatever you're trying to treat, say a 3 or 5 day supply into this tank. It has a mixer inside to keep everything homogeneous and that nothing settles. Then this is a pump that we 3D printed. The hose is obviously missing, but it's a peristaltic pump that then pumps the material from this into the actual reactor. And the reactor has the same mixer as here. I can sort of show it. Here's an agitator at the bottom, which again keeps everything in suspension. There's a heating jacket that maintains this at 40 degrees. And then this is the control panel that controls the mixer motor, the pump motor, and the motor for the mixer here. It also has control logic to maintain the temperature in the reactor. And there's also a volume flow meter for the quantity of biogas generated that the data gets logged in this control panel. Then there's a side glass to look inside. This is actually part of the R&D approach to sort of see settling and floating layers. And then on this side, there will be outlets at various heights to be able to take samples from different areas within the reactor. Yeah.
Those are a lot of words, and I just wonder.
Well, Victoria did the design. So yes, Chantal was asking whether we built this ourselves. So yes, this design is completely ours. So Victoria did all the CAD drawings. We actually had all of this manufactured in Namibia as well. So I mean, there's very nice sort of turret punch manufacturing, stainless steel parts. The control panel was done by a friend of mine. Of course, equipment comes from overseas. But yes, this is completely sort of a custom solution designed and built by us.
Okay, so our last picture for the night is Bjorn. Can we please welcome Bjorn on the stage?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Björn Roxin from Termite Software, and I came back to Namibia to improve the Namibian software industry. What do we all here have in common? I think we all believe in a positive future of Namibia and its growing economy. Otherwise, we wouldn't be here. So, how can this be done? Like, it can be done either by exporting more goods to other countries, or by maximizing the money foreigners like tourists spend in our country. And we can do that, for example, by offering a product which solves one of their problems. A common problem in Etosha is this: spot the cheetah. Okay, the light is pretty bad, but there it is. And yeah, okay, okay. So who of you saw the cheetah only after I announced that there's a cheetah? Okay, it's difficult. It's difficult. Okay, so you must all buy the Etosha app before you go to the next Etosha, because here in the Etosha app, with a new feature which has been designed, you will have a likelihood showing the most likely animals for a certain place for a certain time. And this data has been captured from our sightings, which users provide with us and then can share with each other. But unfortunately, this feature is only in the design phase and is not implemented yet. But what we have is a functionally initial version of the Etosha app, which is available at both app stores already, and which contains a mammals field guide. Furthermore, we've established partnerships with 3 major car rentals, and 500 cars will be driving with these stickers in their windshields soon. Hit Radio is currently producing a podcast about Etosha and conservation, and we are part of that. Furthermore, NWR showed interest in joining our marketing forces, and furthermore, we are negotiating currently extended features like booking game drives through the Etosha app as well. Currently, we're producing about 3,000 Namibian dollars per month, and as you can see, there's a huge incline in June from the sales. If you look at it more closely, you can see it comes from a 1-week promotion where we offered the app for free. In that 1 week, we had over 200 downloads. So what that showed me is, A, there's a big interest, and B, I need to change my monetization strategy. How can I do this? I want to finish the core app, which I'm busy doing, which is a data generator. Like that can have a estimated profit of 5,000 Namibian dollars per month, but this will be generating data which we can use for a later stage for businesses who are interested in data-driven decision makings for business improvements. So what I'm asking you for today is to finish my core app, which would be the development of the free and the paid app splitting, as well as the sightings and the map feature. Furthermore, I want to improve my online presence by finally making my webpage professional from content and design phase, and I want to continue on my search optimizations, which I'm already doing. Then the offline appearance is also very important, where I would like to distribute banners, which NW allowed me to put behind the counters at the Etosha. And last but not least, I want to spend some funds on social media boosts to increase follower reach. You have all reasons to believe in our team, since I've developed software for over 4 years as a software developer and team manager at Robert Bosch, taking care of autonomous driving features. Tatiana, she's been hired as a freelancer, and she's taking care of public relations and social media, and she's well connected in the tourism industry since she's working at Ultimate Safaris. We do believe that sustainable growth takes time, endurance, teamwork, and a step-by-step approach. And our goal is to finish the Etosha app, make it profitable, make this core app happening before we continue with further projects which are already in the pipeline. Thank you for your support.
Thank you so much, Bjorn, for your presentation. Now on to the judges.
Okay, and also to yourself, congratulations.
Thank you.
For making it so far. So in terms of the market reach, what are the kind of numbers you're looking at right now? And then, in terms of branching out the business, you obviously now talking about Etosha, so I would assume that this app can be used elsewhere as well. So have you already started discussions, in terms of sort of taking your business to the next level?
Yes, that's a very valid question. Thank you very much. The market reach that we've gained so far, you can say, like, from my research, we evaluate like 400 users per month. I think this is very realistic. Saying from the tourists that visit Namibia, that visit to Etosha, a certain percentage of that would be like about 400 users per month. We currently reach only 60, so it's still gapping. But that 1 week we offered it for free, that just proved that the market is there, so that these 400 users are realistic. Now it's just as a question, like how can you make most of that? And certainly there's a limit on sales. Like you can't charge too much from a client through the Etosha app, and that's why the next step would be to make this app like only the driving factor for new businesses. For example, since the map is included, we have access to their GPS coordinates as they drive through Namibia. What we can establish from that is who is where, how often, and that could be very precious information also for lodges, for car rentals, to have more insights how we can together improve the tourism industry to maximize the outcome from tourists, and also offer services which we didn't think of before. That's for example one example. The other one is, for example, if we manage to get this NWR corporationship and be able to book game drives through ETAP or just reserve them, that API, that public access point from our software perspective could be also extended to, you name it, whatever you want to book, activities at Sossusvlei. So then the software, the infrastructure is available, and all we need to do is scale it to other problems that users have.
I think my question is building a bit on that, right? So your name is Termite Software, but you're focusing initially on the Etosha app. Kind of what's next? Are you going to just keep rolling out new apps, or are you kind of building off this app and then seeing what else you can do? Like what's the actual model underneath?
Thank you for the question. That's true. I'm focusing on the Etosha app right now because what I've learned at the Jumpstarter program is nail it before you scale it. And so we first want to maximize the potential, or at least reach the market that we evaluated for the Etosha app before we continue. But for example, there was, like from the sighting or from the feedbacks that I got, there's a demand was, can't you extend the map to other mammals in Namibia as well? So that's why, for example, this could be an extended mammal field guide through for Etosha, for the whole Namibia. Another version could be, like, as I said, the whole booking system, to have like a rather booking app or something, API. Another idea was a farm management system. I'm not sure how many of you are farmers, but there's like one software called Bengu Farm and Herdmaster, which is built from the 1920s, and everybody's using it, and I believe there is a huge potential for improving those. So there are projects in the pipeline, but I really have to handcuff myself to not start on them before I nail the Etosha app.
Yeah. So you, I think, pointed out the fact that right now app downloads and such will not be your biggest revenue stream, but rather it will be the other features, right? So maybe you can just take us through those various features. You've talked about it, and maybe just talk to us through the revenue potential. I just want to understand the viability of the app overall.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So are you... Just to make clear that I understood your question correctly, you're asking, like, what is the maximum potential of the sales from the app, and what other features and what potential grows from those, for example?
Yeah, basically the sales for the other revenue lines that are in the app.
Okay, so yes, from the app, what I can say is, like, this is my current research or my prediction so far, that once we split the app into in-app and free version and in-app purchases, this is more or less what I'm assuming from 400 users to achieve through in-app sales only. Then, since there's a free version, there's also an advertisement version which you can personalize. From that, I'm assuming that this return and the affiliations would be then, for example, the game drives. And this is like only the profit that I can say, which I would believe is the maximum for the Etosha app. Added to that, when you have like statistics of the sightings of all the animals, movements, the counts, I already talked to several conservation projects like Cheetah Conservation Project or UNAM, and they're highly interested in that because what they can do, they use those data, for example, to save animal counts in Etosha. So if you then provide them with a continuous flow of data, that could be an income stream. This is a rough figure, which I was really conservative about. I don't know what the amount is there, like sponsorship. So this is only from the Etosha alone, and from my research for the farm management software, which I have in mind, there was an estimation like how many users are actually using that and what feature is missing, and from that there was a rough market estimate, I must say. I didn't do too much detailed research, but that was about 6,000 euros income per month. So that's the market research I did on the farm management system.
Okay, judges, we have time for one more question if you'd like to ask. Okay, thank you so much.
Oh,
no.
Yeah, so I mean, for me, and I was actually writing it, so I could have just asked you, is just, you know, you're obviously doing a lot of the app development yourself at the moment.
Yes and no.
Okay, so kind of like what is sort of your team, and how do you kind of make you get to the next step faster? Like, what are your
My
hurdles?
team is all around the world. Like I have a team in India which I'm paying for the search engine optimizations, which I would like to continue. I had an Ukrainian and in Poland guy which I hired through Upwork to do the design, the layout design and the detailed design, as well as the prototyping and the initial database. This is where I use the funding from the last pitch. Like to outsource these so that I can take care of the whole project management and don't need to develop myself.
Okay, thank you so much, Bjorn. Can we please
Thank
give
you.
Bjorn another round of applause?
Thank you.
So for the next portion of our night, because we're done with the pitches, one thing that we did want to emphasize for tonight is just how entrepreneurs really struggle with getting investment, how to prepare for pitches for investment. And we decided to add on a segment called Investments Tips and Tricks. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just bring up some investment experts in their different spheres to come up. Okay, the reason we chose these three lovely individuals to come join us for the panel is because they feature different spheres of investment, so to say. So what we have are, Josiah, who's an angel investor. We have Nicole, who can speak on what a professional investor is. And then we have Steve Galloway, my bad, who can speak on what he does for B2 Gold as an impact investor. So essentially, Nicole can speak from the perspective of a professional investor. As I said, she was co-founder of a local investment firm, EOS Capital. She was also a trainer for our investment readiness workshop, where she mentioned that EOS had an option to invest into a startup, to fund, but never found a startup to invest in, and rather decided to allocate the money to established businesses. We hope that she can speak to that today with us. Okay. Next, we have Josiah representing the angel, or the sphere called angel investing, basically. He is specialized in financing early stage businesses and a member of NABAN, our angel investor network. NABAN members invest personal funds in innovative early stage companies, helping them grow through knowledge, network, and capital. My bad. And I'm sure he can add on to that as well. And then lastly, we have Steve Galloway, who is part of the CSI board member for B2 Gold. Usually what an impact investor does is their investments are more based on generating positive measurable social and environmental impact, and the financial aspect is secondary. Can you guys hear me at the back? Oh, is it? Sorry. Okay, so to get into the question, I would just like to, before we start digging into the do's and don'ts of seeking investment, I would like to ask you to say a few words on the pitches. Just briefly, just mention one thing you guys took away from one of the pitches. I'll start with Josiah. What did you think of Beyond's pitch?
Yeah, it's on now. I like Beyond Speech. I think the fact that it focuses on our tourism industry. And I think one feature I really like about it was the one where you can it enables you to track where animals are, and then you can go and see them. So I really like that. Quite like that feature a lot.
Thank you so much, Josiah. And Nicole, what stood out to you about Alex's pitch?
For me, I think one of the big things about pitching is that it's got to be practiced and you need to be on point. And I found, his pitch was really on point, and you understood what he was trying to get to very clearly. And he went in time and answered all of the questions with slides at the end. So that was very impressive.
Lastly, I'd like to give it to Steve. What can you highlight from Yannis's pitch?
Yeah, Yannis is incredibly energetic. He almost got me to go back to gyms. I haven't been for years. So, as a banker...
Steve, I think you need to use the mic so they can hear you.
As a banker, I'm a retired banker, and I did sort of conventional banking, but we also did private equity. And in fact, I should tell you this, that B2 Gold was our first significant equity investment before B2 Gold came on the scene. So the Otjikoto gold mine was that. And I really had to stick my neck out. And lucky I'm a geologist, so I was able to bamboozle the investment committees, which is a lot of grumpy old people, to say to them, I know this will work. So coming back to Yannis, the question that I would ask you is, with all the energy and all of the multi-product suite that you're going to roll out there, my question as a grumpy investor or a banker would be, is this all built around you, or are you going to get it to the stage pretty quickly where you don't matter anymore? Because that's certainly the case with any investment that you're going to sort of align your profile with and take risk on the investment. Single person risk is a very big thing. And that's what I'd be asking. Is this really built around the dynamism I saw there, or is there really a stronger team behind that you can really take time off and go and do your own things? Sometimes you've got to dig deep for a while, but that would be my question.
Okay. Thank you so much, Steve. I would just like to throw one more question. Any one of you can answer. When is the best time to approach an investor, and what are your top 3 tips on how to pitch? So this one can go to any one of you.
I guess I can start. I think I'm the most reckless among the 3 of us. I think, at least for me, it's when you have some sort of traction, right? You must prove that your business actually has clients and people are willing to buy from you. It's not at the point where you are profitable, but basically able to prove that you can sell, all right? And also be able to prove that you can have recurring sales, not only like where you feel like, you have only 1 or 2 or 3 people that are willing to buy from you. That's not a client base, right? It's about I think I mentioned before. It's really about ability to scale. So if I see that you have some traction, you have sales, your business model has scalability, and that's maybe the time you can go to an investor and prove to them, and also go to them and tell them what are your growth ambitions, right? If you don't have much scalability in your business, then it's very difficult, at least from my perspective, for me to be investing in your business.
Okay. I think that's what we have time for tonight. So I'm just going to open the floor to anyone in the audience who would like to pose a question to our investors. Okay, don't be shy. Okay. I'm going to give it 2 minutes. Is that okay?
Maybe whilst we wait, I can maybe pose a question to both Nicole and Steve. From your perspective, because I'm obviously part of the Angel network, and I have a little bit of experience in venture capital and a little bit of experience in banking as well. So why do you think many early stage entrepreneurs in Namibia struggle for funding, right? Is it a lack of great business ideas, or is this because they haven't worked on it enough, right? And obviously any entrepreneur will come to you and say, oh, but how can I build a business if banks and venture capital, private equity are not willing to invest in my business so I can build it to a point where it can actually be a mega business?
So this is kind of my pet project at the moment, so it's a good thing that you asked that question. So I actually don't think that there's a lack of ideas, and I don't think that there's a lack of people that have the drive to make it actually happen. I think what we're really lacking here is an understanding of people in terms of what they actually need to be investment ready at each stage. So Josiah will need them to just show a bit of traction. If you want to get a bit more money, you probably need to show a little bit more. You need to consider scale. You need to show, your team. You need to have all your ducks in a row. The accounting stuff that people struggled with on this in this program, right? So I think that's what's lacking, and also an understanding of what it actually takes to make a successful project, how you mitigate risk, and a lot of us need to look inside and say, are we actually able to do this alone? And it's nice to think, oh, I own 100% of this business, but if you can't actually make the business a reality by owning 100% of it, doesn't matter, it won't become a reality. And I think, I've just met so many people who want to own 100% of a business, but then the business will never be a reality, rather than partnering with people that can actually make the business a reality. So I think it's an education thing, and I think that this is where this program can play a big role in actually educating people around what you actually need to do to become investment ready. Steve, I'm not getting the graphical.
Yeah. I don't know how many of you watched Dragon's Den, where there are quite a few grumpy old investors and some not so old. And I guess investors can be grumpy. But if you've noticed in that program, the entrepreneurs pitching often select the investor they want. And I think that's an important part. It's not just for the investor to select you, it's for you to select and to pick the right partner. I always urge startup entrepreneurs not to sell too early, because you've got to get your business somewhere up that value curve. And it's easy to say that, but try and hold out for as long as possible, but try and bring in an investor that is the right match for you, as those pitchers do there. All three of you, and I know your time was limited, but I think all three of you could already at this stage be identifying strong partners, stronger partners sometimes than you have identified, and you weren't always asked to do that. But I would go at a very early stage and find partners that are prepared to share the risk with you and bring you up that value curve by helping you get up there, because they need your product, or they need your partnership, or they need your footprint, or whatever. And I would really urge all three of you to sit with people like Nicole and Josiah and target those partners who are going to bring you up that value curve. And they won't necessarily want to take value at an early stage. They might well be prepared to come in later financially. So try and hold on until you can go somewhat up the value curve, but get strong partners on board. And I can talk to each of you individually about the partners that screamed at me that I wasn't seeing here, because there really are people who are excited. But just to the question of what's been wrong, there's been a big gap in this market in partnering, in venture capital, in angel capital, and my young colleagues here have started bridging that gap, but we need to go to the bigger corporates and bring them into the space as well and get you up that curve. Thank you.
Thank you so much, panelists. Unfortunately, this is all we have time for. I wish this could go longer because there's so many questions, so many questions that I could ask, essentially. And I love that this is a platform that we are trying to bring up for entrepreneurs to have access to you guys and like what questions need to be asked and what they need to know for their businesses and how to grow. So thank you very much, panelists. I think we can go. Next, I would like to call up on stage Tim Vucha to give us a semi-closing remarks, should we say? Please give a round of applause for Tim.
Thanks, Max. And we want to find new, effective ways of working together. So what we managed to do or try to do in this program is put a lot of the learnings over several years into something that is simple but effective. And if I put it in just 2 sentences, that recipe is marrying support, both financially as well as through mentorship and skills, with real accountability and real responsibility, and then doing that all over again. If you guys, as you have as entrepreneurs, can continue to show, and all of us continue to show that we can create value when we're offered support, we can do that cycle over and over again. And that's been really rewarding, watching this small but very committed cohort of participants do that in this program. And I hope we can do it again. And I hope that we can learn from this and do it even better. And like you said, Steve, get others in the room to support that recipe and grow that. So with that note then, I think one other item I had on the list here that worth mentioning is that we have pitch competitions in Namibia, and we need as many as we can, but we also really need something more than that, which is the ability to execute on whatever it is we're pitching. And again, that's something that you guys, this cohort, the participants, have shown that you can and are willing to do. So pitching is the standing on stage and telling a great, impressive story and wowing everyone, and it sounds amazing how we're going to go from 1 million to 5 to 10 and all that jazz. But the next and much, much more difficult step is taking that idea and making it a reality. And I think that's, again, a conversation that we've tried to start here, and something that isn't as easy, and something that we probably shouldn't choose to do alone, but do in a community such as this one here tonight. So please keep doing that, keep learning, keep sharing. Then I do want to, in these semi-closing remarks, really thank everyone that came out tonight, but I also really want to thank B2Gold, Ignatius and the whole team for being open to this new, somewhat weird recipe when it comes to CSI funding. This is not run-of-the-mill stuff. It took us, I think, 1.5 years, nearly 2 years to come to something where we both felt good about it, and I think it's been really successful, at least what we've been able to observe in the slow but steady progress has been really positive, and I hope you guys can see that and observe that, and we can continue to do that. But big thanks to B2Gold. A big thanks to the judges. I think we've heard the word disconnect a few times perhaps tonight, and one of the things that we're trying to do is bring these two groups close together, the entrepreneurs where the ideas and the energy lies and the passion, and the people that we have on the panel of judges or on the panel here just now that are willing to take time out of their days and share their expertise learned over many, many years, where some of that might be taken for granted. It might be coffee station talk in your everyday lives, but it is incredibly valuable in this kind of community where there's a hungry passion to make things work. And small snippets of wisdom can go a long way and save thousands of dollars and many hours. So excited to see these two communities come close together. And then a closing thought for all entrepreneurs and something here. Sometimes it's tough hearing like no or being challenged, but really do enjoy the ups and downs of entrepreneurship. And if there's one sort of thing that I found incredibly exhilarating being an entrepreneur myself is the moment you realize that, or the moment you're able to take absolute responsibility for your own journey and not look to others, not look to your environment or blame others, but everything, whether it's a challenge or a success or a setback, see what you can learn, see what you can take from that, and then enjoy that challenge. Even if it's a one day you're up, one day you're down, maybe it's a punch in the face or an investor saying no or whatever it is, see that as a challenge and accept those and enjoy every step of the journey of entrepreneurship. So thanks so much, guys, for coming out tonight, and let's continue doing this. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Tim, for that. Now I would like to get into the prize-giving segment of the night, and I would like to call upon Chantal to come give the winners and our entrepreneurs the things. Yeah. Thank you.
Awesome. So this is the moment that everyone's been waiting for, and thanks for your patience in us staying agile and adjusting the program as demanded, which is how we roll. Fail fast, fail forward, fail often. Always being adaptable and making it work no matter what. So that's what we did tonight. I just want to quickly run through some of the criteria that the judges used on our scoring system for you to understand better what are some of the very key topics that one has to look at when presenting a business. I find that a lot of entrepreneurs, and we do pitching coaching as a service, a lot of entrepreneurs are really good at creating this wow factor that Tim spoke about. But as Delia mentioned in the beginning, we love to look under the hood, past all the smoke and mirrors, to the real stuff that really has to contribute to that business becoming successful, sustainable, and at some point investment ready. So to give you an idea, the judges had a scoring sheet where they looked at how well was the entrepreneur able to present the problem that they're looking to solve. So is this a valid problem? And looking at the solution, which the business is saying, hey, I saw there's a problem that needs to be resolved, that people are resolving, but I found a really special way to solve that problem. And looking into how they've come up with their solution, which is their business offering a product or a service. So that's scored on a scale of 1 to 5, 1 being low and 5 being high. Is the business viable? So what is the viability of this? Because not every problem can be built into a business solution. So of course problems are important. Climate change is important, food security is important, but can you build a business around it? And that's what viability is. The next part is the business model. So how does the entrepreneur determine or test ways to generate income? And a lot of the judges ask questions around the revenue models. So how are you expecting to make money? How does this business work? There's a really cool canvas called the Business Model Canvas, produced by companies like Lean Service, a futurist that does lean service creation. These canvases are available online for free, and you can then map out the business model. How does this business work, including from a financial perspective, and the customers that are going to pay me? What services would they pay for? For example, Alec mentioned I can go for this type of revenue model, but I also have an additional sort of service model where I could potentially generate income possibly in the long run. Then one looks at the founder and the team. So who's the dream team that's going to pull this off? And a lot of people think that investors invest in the idea. So it's a brilliant idea. I don't understand why they're not jumping to the table to say, let me invest. People invest in people, because your idea might change down the line. But if you're the type of entrepreneur who, as Tim mentioned, can learn, can grow, can test, it's the founder and the team that one looks to invest in. And of course, you want to make sure that there's a decent, viable idea related and connected to that. Obviously, pitching on stage is super nerve-wracking, and it's one of the biggest fears in the world is speaking in public. The preparation that the entrepreneur took to deliver the pitch, how clear it was, how easily they were able to connect with the audience, did people understand what they were trying to say, this technical concept, were you able to relay that so that a layman and a customer is able to understand the solution that you're offering? So pitch delivery is another topic that they scored on. Scalability and growth is the next one, and you would have heard a lot of the judges asking, how do you plan to scale? So yes, you're doing something in one location. What are some of the ways that you would expect that you can then increase the number of customers? You could increase the number of revenue streams. You could increase the locations possibly, or the services. So that's quite important. And then something that's super important to the Delolo team is return on investment. And this is, I think, where the gap lies, where not a lot of players, I would say, are looking at, if the dollar is received, where is the best place to put the dollar? And if I'm putting the dollar there, do I expect more customers, more sales? Because if you're looking to go to a bank and take a loan, or you're looking to go and get venture capital, it's not that someone gives you grant money. And I think these terms that I'm throwing around are things that one really needs to start understanding. There are pitch programs that provide grant funds. No one expects you to pay it back. But if you're going for the investment route or the loan route, and Nicole mentioned quite a number of different sort of financial avenues one can look at to support the business, it's not just that someone gives you $10 and they go, all the best, good luck. Oftentimes, if you're going the investment route or the loan route, someone says, I don't just want my $10 back, but I'm going to want an interest on the money that I gave you at the time. So they would want $12.50 back, or $13 back, or sometimes $23 back, depending on where you go, when you go to them, and how much you're asking for. So the return on the investment is a super important conversation for you to be able to prove, pump the money in now, believe in me and my team, believe in my idea and the business that I've built, and I can, through my assumptions, assure you that I can pay the money back with the interest at a certain time and hit my break even and start generating profit on top of that. So these are important things that one needs to understand, and this is what they've been rated on as well. And then on this particular program, we're super proud to announce that we're also rating the entrepreneurs on accountability. And this is critically important. So the people that have pitched today have previously pitched for up to 10K, and on the second pitch they pitched for up to 50K, and today they were pitching for 100K. So what did you do with the funds that you received previously? Having an accountability component is very important, and it's really something that we would love to drive as sort of like at least a minimum requirement for funds being received, because I can't say I'm going to use the money for X and I use it for Y without a backup or without a sort of announcing that I'm pivoting or whatever the case is. So that element, I think, has been really strongly promoted through this program, and it's why I think this has been a really awesome program for the participants to be a part of, because we're asking those questions. So that means that if you were able to score 5 as the highest mark for each of these sort of topics that I've mentioned, and you have 3 judges that were able to give you a score of 5 total, that altogether you were able to accumulate 120 points as an entrepreneur pitching on the stage today. Before I get to the high jumper, that is the entrepreneur that has received the highest score of everyone that pitched today, I'd like to announce the figures, the total figures that the entrepreneurs that pitch accrued for tonight. So just to make sure we understand how the rules work, each judge was able to allocate the funds that the entrepreneur asked for. Every entrepreneur asked for 100K. So how we did it is whatever Josiah determined as, yes, you asked for 100, I'm going to give you either what you asked for, or I'm going to give you less based on what you were able to argue and present. The 3 tallies of the judges were combined, and the average is what the entrepreneur would receive. So 100, 100, 100. If everyone said, give the 100, let's do this, then the entrepreneur would, on average, 300 divided by 3 is 100. They would get the 100 that they asked for. If we have 50, 160, and I'm not going to do math on stage as nervous as I am right now, it would be the average of the 3 judges that would determine the figure that the entrepreneur is awarded as our 3rd pitch event for this program. So, without further ado, thank you. I'm going to start with Elysian Fitness. So that's Janus. So the average, and you can come You can come through. He asked for 100, and the average that the judges awarded him, verified, is 72,000. You can just stand on that side. Great job. And I wanted to mention how incredibly impressed I was with all of the pitches and how you got the audience to smile and laugh, and that's always like a super awesome thing that you're able to do. I'm going to go for termite software next, so Björn, you can come up. The average, he asked for 100 as well, yeah? So they were all super confident. 103. Technically. So the judges awarded termite software 70,000. Surge, sustainability. Alec. So Alec also asked for 100, and the average that the judges determined that he would receive is 90,000. Great job. Okay. I am shaking. People never believe that I get super nervous. I'm freaking shaking here. Okay. So let's go on to the community and how our angel investors with their $5 have invested in your businesses. So could I ask Chanel to bring our 3 jars up real fast? So you would have noticed when you arrived, they asked if you have $5, and if you didn't have one, they probably gave you one. But every person during the break was able to pop in their investment of $5. Hey, and don't look past the $5. My dad always says, if you can't appreciate it 10 cents, okay, you're never going to make the dollar. So from the community tonight, we'll start with Elysian Fitness. So Giannis, and someone was extra. So Giannis got an angel investment of $101. Woo-hoo! Termite Software, with their angel investment, got $80. And Search Sustainability, Alec, you got $100. Please make sure that you spend the money at the right places to get more customers and to generate more sales. So, the last sort of award that we give out tonight is the High Jumper. And the High Jumper award is not awarded to the person that received the most grant funds from B2Gold. It's not the person that received the most angel investment with our cool new investment strategy. But it's the person that received the highest score based on the topics that I mentioned to you previously. And this is the 3rd High Jumper Award that we're giving, and I think it's a really great way to provide a platform for entrepreneurs to level up at certain sort of categories. So we always give feedback after a pitch event. We always say, hey, these are what your scores were. They go back, they go do the work, and they level up their pitch game, and they come and they present an even better pitch every single time. And they get better scores because they learn to communicate better and clearer. So the High Jumper scored 98 points out of a possible 120 points. And that High Jumper for tonight is Surge Sustainability, Alec. Are you announcing your video on me? You grow. Your growth mindset has impressed me, and I know that there were a lot of tough days, and it's another meeting, and then you're out of town or you're out of country, and you know it's like project manager said weekly, let's do this, make it work. And it's been really great to see you invest not on the program, investing in yourselves and investing in your business. And I'm incredibly proud of you and every single participant on the program. some of which are not on the stage today. So thank you for helping us learn at such a rapid pace, because I guarantee you we learned a ton running this program. And I just want to say congratulations, you freaking earned it. Keep doing you, you got this. Cool. Thank you. That's it. You guys, thank you. You can jump off. Okay. All right, so to make sure that we're not just operating on hearsay on how intense Delolo is with our incubation programs, we've put together sort of version 1 of a video to give you an idea of the journeys that the entrepreneurs have faced. And we just...
Hi, my name is Rebecca. I'm from Busy Bees. We make craft and learning boxes for kids.
Hi, I'm Alec Peters, the founder of Search Sustainability. We do biogas.
My name is Hubert Lashenda. I'm with UB Innovations based in Windhoek. Our aim is to help people achieve a holistic lifestyle through software and applications.
My name is Björn Roxin. I'm from Termite Software, and I've developed the Etasha app, which makes the Etasha become alive.
My name is Janus Wiekers. I'm the founder of Elysian Fitness. One day we just decided to walk out and started building a squat rack. We were only 2 at a time that was chosen for the program out of 170.
In 4 months I've been able to register my business with PIPA, have my financials up and running, have remote staff, and have forecast in place, pitch decks in place.
I didn't know anything about accounting and bookkeeping and all of that. I didn't know what I was getting myself in when starting a company.
The program helped me to really grow as a business, to really think about what I do as a business.
Because it's easy to get lost in those, but you need aspects to focus on in the business. And yeah, the program helped me to show me the different aspects of running a business and not just the day-to-day technical things.
I would still be pushing, but I wouldn't be where I'm currently at. The biggest thing I can take from it was more like a mentorship, I would say.
The incubation center is so open, okay, so you can express your ideas, you can bring your ideas to the center, and you won't be afraid of people crushing your dreams or crushing your ideas. In fact, what they do is they help you to dismantle the bad.
I really like the fact that there are other participants, so you learn also from their needs and get to meet them and hear what they're struggling with or what they are doing well.
The most 2 workshops that I liked the most was definitely the first one, the pitch workshop, which was a real eye-opener how important it is to keep your sentences short and precisely on the point.
Investment readiness, well, that one was a big one because I think I left there and I wanted more.
The advice and just the passion about it was great.
Especially the feedback that you would get. The way errors or things that you think work well, would be deconstructed again. You would then be advised to maybe approach it this way or look at something that way. So,
how far are you getting this done?
If you could see this office before and what it looks like now, we bought all the shelving, the storage, the paint. All the stock came from the money granted.
In my business, the sales cycle is very long, so getting some money along the way is very helpful because I have to pay salaries and build for some pilot equipment. And for example, this device was purchased from the grant money.
I've realized that marketing is a really necessary factor in a successful business. And that's why I spend most of the money in marketing materials and marketing as such.
The program helped us to build a company that has a good foundation, sustainable values that we can carry for hopefully years and years on end. Yeah, we would have been somewhere because we wouldn't have given up, but we wouldn't have been here without Dololo and Peter Gold's help.
goes far.
Okay, we're going to wrap up the night just with Jackie, who's the program manager for this particular program from the B2Girl team. She's just going to wrap up the evening for us, and I just want to say from my side, thank you so much for spending the time with us, and again, congratulations to the entrepreneurs that did a fantastic job tonight. Thank you. So you can just wrap up. Yes.
Thank you, Chantal. Good evening. My name is Jackie, and I'm the project coordinator for the DoBox Incubation Program. So I'm just going to wing it. I'm not prepared. I didn't take part in the pitch preparation. So yeah, a year ago, we sat around the table with DoBox, and we sort of had discussions on what we wanted out of this program. And we were very ambitious. Delia was not joking. We said we knew what we wanted. And yeah, so, and one of the things that we wanted innovative businesses. We didn't want your copy and paste. So when Delia says comes the first breakfast meeting, when they have to report back of how many applications they received and how many successful candidates they got, they literally just had 2. Because, I mean, you saw the video, you heard the pitches. These are not your everyday businesses. So number 1, well done on the innovative businesses. You did that well. Secondly, we were looking for a hand-holding approach, mentorship approach, because when everybody wants to start a business, they usually have the technical skills. They know what they want. They probably know how to produce, but it's a soft side of businesses that actually gets to them. It's your marketing, it's your financials, is your website and all of that. So the soft side of businesses, but also we didn't want that classroom type of environment, because on the slide here, Dila showed you how much we spend on training and mentorship. We wanted tailor-made, okay? I don't want to sit in a financial class if I'm good with finances. I want a practical, experience, something that's relevant to me, because I don't want to have this whole schedule that you must attend 9 trainings, and website development has nothing to do with my businesses. So that was also one thing that we're very specific about. Another thing that we wanted was also, at B2Gold, we do not do hits and run. We don't do corporate social investment, not responsibility. We're not being responsible. We are investing in our communities. We don't do CSI as a tick-off, as a regulation. So we don't do hit-off wonders, or just, we give $1,000 here and we bring the media and all of that. We do it because we care. We do it because all of us come from these communities that we are investing in. Therefore, we wanted a flagship program. We actually told them, we want a livelihood flagship program. Can you deliver on that? But now, as I'm standing here today, I don't think they delivered on the flagship program. We actually have a legacy. I see these businesses years from now saying, you know what, we started our businesses because of funding from B2Gold, and that's what we wanted. Thank you very much. Yeah, so on that, really, we are not disappointed with the turnout, because we were not looking for numbers. We're not looking for quality. We were looking for quality, and that's what you delivered on. So thank you very much, DoBox. Thank you very much, Delia. So thirdly, I just want to say I'm standing here as a proud employee of B2Gold, for real. When we started off our CSI program, it was first called Corporate Social Responsibility, like everybody else. Everybody has a CSI program. But we don't do CSI. And that comes from management of B2Gold. We look at tangible, sustainable projects. We have a whole criteria. You just don't come and, you get money from us. We're doing investments. Because we're mining gold. It's a gold mine, B2Gold. The gold will finish, right? But the people will remain. The communities will remain. We want to say, okay, fine. There was a mine called B2Gold. What happened? Where is the traces of it? Where is the food? Where are the golden footprints? And that's what we do with our CSI programs. So I'm really proud. Thank you, my management, my colleagues, for always supporting me. PR, fellow CSI members, guys, thank you so much. Thirdly, DoBox, you did more than deliver. And what you did now is, you've opened doors for other entrepreneurs, whether through another sponsorship of the Jumpstart program, cross fingers, or with other entrepreneurship programs. Now we know we can do it. It's possible. It is possible. So yes, thank you so much. Delia, you swam. You were pushed in the deep end and you swam. You really did. I think, are you a professional swimmer? Well done. No, really, well done. You did a good job. Dear participants, all 6 of you, you did very well. Because the SME sector is one sector where people are very shy to invest because there's no accountability. Yes, that's one thing that that was a big requirement for this program. It was accountability. We don't want you to go buy a bakkie without $10,000. Yes, so one big thing also for qualifying for the next pitch event, you were supposed to tell us what did you do with the money. Did you do what you said you did with the money? And that brings me back to the first meeting I had with all 6 of them. Either we had the one-on-one conversations or I went to the sites and I can see the growth, guys. Even just, Alec, congratulations. I remember I had to write my first report on this project and I was like, what does Alec do? But I can now confidently explain your project. You get better every single time and you deserve to be the jumper of the night. Guys, everybody, thanks for showing up. Steve is he sits on our CSI board. So thank you for coming. It really means a lot. It also means you're going to present this project at the next board meeting. Yeah, but everybody else, family and friends, thanks for supporting the participant. Thanks for being the people that actually showed them or helped them believe in themselves. And thanks for showing up tonight. That is a wrap.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. We have finally come to the end of tonight's program. Thank you for coming, and I hope you guys mingle and have a great evening.